right, hey guys, what's up? This is TC back with another episode of the Eulogist Reviews podcast. I don't have Greggy here with me for this episode because I just wanted to kind of keep this short. There's so much music that I listen to on a daily basis. I mean, if you have Spotify or Apple Music, you know the feeling. You get a new playlist all the time. You get brand new bands to listen to, and I just seriously can't help myself. So I just listened to two new-ish bands that released brand new music that I felt that I needed to review. So basically, I'm going to be calling this episode 2.5 because it's kind of a halfway point to kind of hold you over until a full blown episode that I'll do with Greggy over the weekend, where we kind of take an in depth look at how a specific genre is faring in today's music scene. There are two bands in particular that I want to talk about. The first one is called Envoi, and the second one is called Mess. Now, this first band called Envoi, they are not by any means new to the scene whatsoever. They're from Ohio. I remember back in probably 2011. I played a show with them when I was doing an acoustic set in Kent, Ohio at the Outpost, which was a really great show. And Envoy is always a great band to play with. They're super energetic. They did go through a little bit of a lull where they didn't release anything. I think the last piece of music they released was back in 2014. They put out an album. But finally, they got back together to release a brand new single called The Seas. And definitely talking about the ocean, not about the letters. So, as far as this song goes, it's really a great combination of genres. I mean, right from the get go, you get this alt post hardcore rock, right? And I think that's almost a new genre now, alt post hardcore. I mean, usually you just get a post hardcore band with breakdowns or some kind of ambient leads, some kind of screams. But really, at the beginning of this song, you get true alternative rock mixed with post hardcore. For example, the post hardcore elements are those super powerful vocals that kind of explode over these pop punk and metal kind of riffs. There's also this slight sense of ambience that's going on, which is why I say this is more so post-hardcore. Other notable things about this song, definitely the dual vocals that are going on between Madeline Flynn and I believe one of the guitarists. There's also during the bridge this really cool funky dance part almost where it kind of goes into a Chon sounding riff, some kind of mathy sounding riff with a lot of different effects thrown onto it. And there's even some spoken word put onto the song over this dance riff. It's pretty crazy to me. So, all in all, this song is very energetic. It's a great comeback anthem for these guys, especially because their old stuff was more on the pop rock, pop punk side. So, this is really cool how energetic this was, and it's a great way to come back. As far as a rating for this song, I am going to give it a 8.5 out of 10. So as far as this second band, they're called Mess, and they're from Kansas City. Now, I'm not sure if they're from Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri, but you can definitely tell from their sound that they are from the Midwest. They have that Midwest emo sound, very sad, very melancholic. And as far as a genre, this is another band that combines all these different genres together, which I absolutely love with new bands coming out nowadays. Now, granted, these guys aren't super duper fresh, brand new, but as far as breaking onto the scene, they're definitely new. They've broken into it. Um, and as far as this mixing of genres goes, it's a combination of ambient, rock, emo. There's even some elements of Americana and singer-songwriter style. Like the first song, Becoming, I believe it's really just, one guitar with vocals over top. And these are just classic chords that you would hear all the time on an Americana or singer-songwriter song. And it's really great. I think it's really great when bands can just go outside of their comfort zone with songwriting, especially when they drop a lot of the instruments that are going on in different songs that they have. Now, the album that they just recently released is called Learning How to Talk. And this is definitely for fans of bands like Now Now, from Indian Lakes, Weathered, Citizen, even local band from Orlando, Boston Marriage. My favorite songs on this album are definitely songs like Dead Space and Drown. Don't get me wrong, I definitely like when it's just guitar and vocals, but there's something about Dead Space and Drown, these two songs, that fills this emotional void almost. I mean, they're soft, yet they're super driving. There's parts that almost make you want to cry, seriously. Um, Throughout these songs and the rest of them, there's a lot of storytelling going on. You can tell there's a lot of heartbreak. There's a lot of, thinking about one's life. It's very nostalgic. There's a lot of ambient sounds. And at times it's hard hitting and super emotional, like I said. And for a rating, I'm going to give this a 9.2 out of 10. I think the point 0.8 mark off comes from the fact that even though this is a great album, this is great from start to finish, I'm in my feelings the entire time. I think the mark off comes from the fact that I've heard this album before. And that's not, again, that's not to say that this is bad or that that's a bad idea, because a lot of people write the best albums when they have influences from so many other bands. And as musicians, we all have influences from other bands. It's hard not to be biased and to try and write like our favorite musicians. We all do it, and it's fine. But, if that's the only mark off that I'm giving it, then this album has to be fantastic, and it's definitely worth your time. So let's take a short listen to my two favorite songs that I had mentioned before.
Learning how to talk. Base it off your puncture. Bathing in the wounds you will never let heal. You just keep them around till they drown us out.
So that's going to be it for episode 2.5. Make sure that you have subscribed on my YouTube channel, Eulogist Reviews. Same thing for SoundCloud, same thing for iTunes. Go ahead and subscribe to those so you don't miss any more episodes moving forward. And I will see you next week with a full-on episode 3 with my co-host, Greggy Greens. Later.